Wingstop lives flavor, and you crave it. That's why we've created the Boneless Flavor Fix for you and your crew. 20 boneless wings, 4 flavors, 2 fries, 2 dips, and 2 cold drinks for just $20. Whether it's lemon pepper, Louisiana rub, or atomic, finding your flavor combo is easy, but deciding who you're going to split it with, that's a different story. The Boneless Flavor Fix. Just $20 for a limited time at Wingstop. The wing experts. Prices and participation may vary. See local restaurant for details.
Blog Talk Radio.
Everybody, welcome to Source Material. Boy, if you couldn't tell by that fun, jolly intro, what we're going to be discussing tonight. You may have a childhood that was not, I wouldn't say it's not fun, but I'll tell you, maybe you didn't spend a whole lot of time in front of the TV. Because I know I did as a kid. Usually, you could find me in front of that TV right after school was out, maybe an hour or so before I went to school in the morning. And if I could catch me some Looney Tunes on TBS, I'll be damned if I was going to miss them. So the Looney Tunes have been around for quite a while. And you know me. You know Street Level Starch. He enjoys a good crossover. Well, by golly, DC says, well, I got one for you. We're going to be doing DC superheroes and crossing over with your favorite Looney Tune characters. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're discussing tonight the recent DC Looney Tune specials that were released from DC. Now, I don't think we're talking all of them. I don't believe. There's a few that we missed. I'll bring on our guest here just to make sure. But I know we got a big bulk of them at least. And let's go ahead. What we'll do, I'm going to intro our guests. The typical Source Material crew is here, added with one special guest. When we get him on here, it's always a special time. First off, from the Screaming Boy podcast, you could catch him at your local DMV, giving a hard time, giving the lady behind the desk a hard time. His name is Ronnie Adams. Hey, no, it's my intro. Trust me. You were giving her a hard time, trying to spin it on us, make us feel sorry for you. I know what it was, Ronnie Adams. Come on. Okay, tell me what happened. Tell me what really happened.
I liked her. All right, I will say this. Yeah, she was fine. She was really nice, and she was actually the one that helped me out quite a bit. Here in North Carolina, you have to get your car inspected and ready to go before you can pay your property tax. Before you can get your property tax, on it paid and get your, yearly sticker put on it.
Uh-huh.
So, big deal, whatever. I don't care. I knew this was coming. Well, apparently, somewhere in North Carolina, there is a toll that is unmanned. So, if you go through it, they just send you an invoice.
Okay.
So, apparently, I went through this toll twice. Once going in, once coming out, and that's towards Raleigh. And I think it was a work thing. I don't know. I don't care. Well, I didn't know I went through a toll. And as most people know, that I bought a house and I moved from my apartment into my house. They sent the notices to my apartment.
No.
The toll total was $4.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, you can handle that.
So, I go to get my inspection. Everything gets good, oil change, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I pay that, and I go to the inspection's office, hand my paperwork, go to the registration office and hand my paperwork, and she goes, uh-oh, you have a block on me. I was like, a block for what?
Boy.
And she explained it was the tolls. So I call the people, and I say, hey, apparently I have a block, and you all, I didn't know. And a $4 toll ended up costing me $100. to get the block turned off.
Oh, my gosh.
North Carolina Quick Pass is the devil, is pure evil, and I actually, this is one of the first times I've ever done this. I actually went to the Attorney General website, called the office today, and they told me to go to the website, and I put a complaint in. And apparently this happens quite a bit with Quick Pass because the lady behind the counter at the DMV, who was super nice, she was super awesome, she helped me out in several ways because of this. And she said, I did it. I tell everybody else to do it when this happens. So, and when I told the guy what happened, he goes, oh, yeah, definitely put in a complaint.
Yeah,
I was like, okay. So they apparently have been running this racket for some time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, you gotta watch out for that stuff. So you're already in a sour mood. How about we put a smile on your face and ruin your childhood? How's that sound? Yes,
I'm
sir.
used to it here on this show.
Ronnie Adams. All right, he speaks for the trees, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know. Now, next up, the man who brought this, I think he's the one that brought it to us again. If he is a progenitor of Ronnie's childhood's death, that would be the main man.
He hates me and my childhood.
The patriarch himself, Mark Radulich, sir. How do you do this evening?
I started eating vegan, and it's not because meat is murder. Meat is delicious murder. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for any like other political thing. It was, you watched that documentary. I've watched many documentaries. They all say the same thing: plant-based diet. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm dealing with a lot of medical stuff, and I'm trying to give myself a leg up. I don't want to do chemo anymore, and if I can get myself in better shape by the time I'm done with the second round of the particular chemo I'm doing now, then why not do that for myself? Because chemo sucks, and I don't want to do it. So
I feel like a douche now. Such a douche.
So how am I doing? I'm doing okay. I had a salad that consisted of kale, which is gross, blueberries, almonds, which wasn't bad, edamame. So I ate about half of it before I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not. I mean, when people ask, I kind of say the same thing. I say, I'm eating vegan-ish. I'm basically trying to, when I can, I'm electing to not eat meat and cheese, meat and dairy. But I'm not making a huge fucking deal about this, and I'm not, and I can't, because I mean, I told my wife I was gonna start eating vegan, and she started to shake, she started to shimmy, and she started to sweat. Okay.
No.
She started to sweat, baby sweat, like a Texas drought. And then she blurted out with spittle on the side of her mouth, "You can't take dairy away from me." Dude, I work with drug addicts that don't act this way. Okay? So, no. So, there are limitations to what I can do. Like, the very first night, like, I had eaten vegan all day, but she made something with, like, imitation crab, and I ate it because I'm not gonna be a fucker about it. She's trying to help me. She's making, she's making different things. We just went shopping. We got some things to accommodate this. I don't know how long I'm going to do it for, but I definitely want to try it for a couple of weeks to see if my health really does improve. Because everything that these documentaries say is after 2 weeks of eating clean, eating vegan, he grew a third arm, and and he was able to lift tall buildings with a single bound. And I'm like, all right, I want to see if that is really true. I did go to have labs today, and my labs are good as they can be. This after my last grouping of chemo. I'm excited to torture Josh Calandros tonight. I'm excited to torture Ronnie Adams and pick the single greatest DC Looney Tunes crossover. I'll tell you, I'll stop talking so you can get on with your intro, but at some point, you need to come back to me and talk to me about how I've passed on the legacy of merry melodies and Looney Tunes onto my children. And you need to ask me how I did it, because I did it in a very specific way. I introduced my children to Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam and Daffy Duck and Porky Pig in a very specific, possibly parentally abusive way. So come back to me on that.
All right. Well, starting a diet is never fun, but I'm glad we might be able to put a smile on your face by letting you ruin Ronnie's childhood. So,
yeah,
well,
in all honesty, the vegetables and the fruit taste so much better knowing that Ronnie is sad.
No, the only reason that I say that is because I know of like 4 other people that watched the documentary What the Health. I'm like, oh no, I'm going vegan, and I'm like, why? I mean, like, if you want to eat healthy,
bacon in his face.
Yeah, no, if you want to eat healthy, that's by all means, absolutely. I need to, and I get it, I understand. But if you're doing it because well, let's just put it this way, I don't follow along with documentaries that much at all, mainly because documentaries most of the time like this are they may be founded on fact, but a lot of times they come out as opinion.
Oh, remember that fun one we did, Ronnie, on our one of our second or third ones was nothing about. It was about like the environment, and boy, that was a fun conversation to have with Ronnie.
Oh Lord, yeah.
his biological footprint and all this fun stuff. Well, okay. So let's introduce the judge, jury, and he will execute with a smile on his face tonight, I have a feeling. His name is Josh Calandros. Josh, we ain't had you on here before. Yeah, I think I have had you on here before. Not in the last, couple months anyway. Josh Calandros, it's been a while, my friend. How you doing this evening?
Good. I think this is the first time that I've ever been introduced as a judge, jury, and executioner. But maybe again. Maybe this won't be the last time.
Well,
let
me educate our listeners on what we're doing tonight. So tonight's a pretty unique show. Here's the plan. So we know that these books came out, and what Mark, Ronnie, and I decided to do was that we were each going to take 2 books. We're going to summarize these books, and Josh's job is to sit there and listen to us kind of pitch these books to him. All right? Now, it may not be very dissimilar to what we usually do here on the show, where we go through the plot, tell you what happens, but it's going to be a little bit more truncated, obviously. But we're going to let Josh take he's going to take everything in when we describe these books, and then he's going to, at the end of things, I guess what we will do, he may pop in with some questions, comments, whatever, and everybody, this is a relaxed environment, no strict rules on who can speak, who can't speak. I don't give a crap, but he's going to take it all in, and maybe at the end he will let us know, okay, well, yeah, maybe I'm interested in checking this one out and this one out and this one out. It's our job, me, Ronnie, and Mark, our job is to make these books somewhat sound enticing, to where Josh goes, oh, yeah. He goes,
okay,
hey,
think of this,
I'm
folks.
interested.
Think of this as we are attempting a religious conversion of Josh Calandros. We are knocking on his door. We are knocking on his door, and we are saying, have you thought about the power of Christ lately, and trying to get him to join our religion? That's what we're doing.
Do you have a few minutes to talk? Oh, man.
You're making this even more an uphill battle than it would be with this intro process here. This is
my goodness.
Way to start with me. But we should also talk about, earlier when we first came up with this idea, we were talking about this and we listed them, and I was like, that's some of the dumbest stuff I've ever heard. I won't be reading any of those. And then Mark was like, I have an idea. And I was like,
stop complaining in front of me. I'm a sadist.
Oh, it's the truth. That is the truth.
Amen.
So,
hey, we all make
okay.
mistakes. I have an idea for a podcast, ladies and gentlemen. See, that's
Everybody
what you all
hates.
hate? Let's talk about it.
Oh, man. So, all right, now, let's go ahead. I'm going to list the books here. The process that we're going to do, I think I laid it out here. Mark's going to go first. I'll go second. Ronnie will go third. And then we'll each do a book apiece, and then we'll just start the process over again, do our second book.
Why am I going twice in a row? Why am I going twice in a row? Like,
you're not.
Why aren't we going? Okay, because you have it Wonder Woman, Jonah Hex, and those were both mine. Like,
oh, that was just a list.
Why don't we?
Don't go by that.
Okay.
We're going to go Mark, Jesse, Ronnie, and you guys pick whatever book you want to put up first.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that's all completely up to you.
I have 10 more questions just to really throw off your rhythm.
Go for it.
I have one more. I have one serious question before Mark gets in there. Are we doing both stories in it, or just the serious story?
Can we not do that? Can we just do the A story?
I just want to do the A story.
Wait. So are we going to get into the difference? What does that mean?
Let me explain. So these books are all broken up into A and B stories. The A story is the main story. It's the bulk of the book.
Okay.
And it leans towards more of this is the DC universe that the Looney Tunes characters are drawn into, and they're drawn more serious. The stories are more serious. They're drawn more realistically, like physically drawn more realistically, and it's a more serious tone. Then there's the B story where it's like if this was from like a children's publisher, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like if you read the old Bugs Bunny comics that used to be published, you know, and they were drawn light and friendly and silly and meant for children. That's the B story. Some of these, the B story just repeats the A story, but does it in a really funny way. Some of them are independent, and it's really just for the sake of time, it's not worth getting into. They're like 3 pages long.
I'm fine with that. I enjoyed the Lobo B story just because of what happens in that, but I have no problem letting it go. Now, as for the Bugs Bunny Legion backup story, that is exactly what happened, where it repeated itself. I mean, almost verbatim. I don't know if they just said, okay, here's the plot, go for it. But, seriously, you were like, okay, this just happened. Why am I paying money for this? So I'm completely okay with that. It does. Ronnie, how about you? You're cool with that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Go ahead, Mark.
I was going to say, I think when we're done pitching Josh, if Josh hasn't slit his wrists, maybe we can spend a few minutes at the end of the podcast talking about the B stories. Because some of them, like the one with Batman and Elmer Fudd actually is really funny.
Okay.
I mean, that's if you guys want to. But as far as pitching Josh, if the gimmick of this podcast is pitching Josh, there's really no point in pitching anything else but the A story.
All right. Yeah, I'm cool with that. If we have time, we'll get in that.
I would rather hear about that. That's a cool idea, but if some of the books were the same story twice, that's really dumb.
It is. All right, well then, any other questions there, Mark? Suggestions?
No, you said before, like, did we get them all? Yeah, it's the way that there was a 100-page super spectacular that was Superman and Bugs Bunny, but we're not talking about that. We're doing there were 3 weeks, 2 apiece, 2 each week that were released. That's what we're talking about here. As you said, Wonder Woman, Tazmanian Devil, Jonah Hex, Yosemite Sam, Lobo, Roadrunner, and / Wile E. Coyote, Martian Manhunter, Marvin the Martian, Legion of Superheroes, Bugs Bunny. That's all of them.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I thought there were some more that we may have missed. So that's good then. We're covering the whole gamut then. Awesome stuff.
Elmer, Fudd, and Batman. I forgot.
Oh, yeah. So what are you going to lead off with, Mark?
Oh, I'm first?
Okay. You're first. It's going to go me, or it's going to get... Yeah, you're first. I go first. No, Mark, me, Ronnie. Mark, me, Ronnie.
All right. Josh Calandros, I'm here to pitch you a contemporary story in this world of movies today where we have said there are no good women superheroes in the movies until now. And that woman, of course, as we know, is Wonder Woman. Sure, we've had Ripley, and we've had Lara Croft, and we've had about a dozen others. But no, the only one that counts, as we all know, is Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman is tearing up the movie theaters far and wide, both domestic and international. It's already crossed 700 million. It's on its way to 800 million. We got to start talking about follow-up, sequel, my man. And right here, I'm going to pitch you a story from the Wonder Woman Tazmanian Devil comic book that they should base the next Wonder Woman movie on. It's fantastic. Okay?
Oh, Lord.
Go on.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to weave you a tale.
Continue, sir.
I am going to weave you a tale of wonderment and excitement. This is the story that every boy and every girl wants to see on the big screen. Let me paint you a picture. Okay.
What world did you live in?
No more kale. No more kale for Mark. None. He's done.
All right.
More meat for this man.
Does this picture involve using a lot of Sharpie marker and sniffing while we're...
Listen, let me pitch you, my man. I've got the story to sell even more tickets and take Wonder Woman to $1 billion. Here we go.
Now it sounds like it's more crayons and placemats.
We start off in Tasmania. Okay? Wonder Woman is on the hunt. She's searching for an old foe, someone she's met before in battle. All right? And she's looking, and that old foe is one of the guardians of the maze, the Tazmanian Devil. And what we know about Wonder Woman is, as an Amazon, as a child, she had to perform her own feats of heroism. Back in the day, Josh Calandros, she actually went into the maze looking for the Tazmanian Devil to prove her mettle amongst the other Amazon women. And she, on the way to meeting the Tazmanian Devil, is chased by what? What do we all love out there? What do we love? Fucking zombies, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
Skeletons.
you're kidding me.
He is being chased through the maze by skeletons armed with swords and shields. They're going, the flesh. Come on, you can picture it. It's dark. The maze, we can get some really good sets going here with a dark, creepy maze, and these skeletons come out and they're chasing her. But she knows she's got the answer. She gets away from them by going through one of the portals, because apparently this maze touches all corners of the universe through various portals. So they're screaming, the flesh, the flesh. They're trying to get her. And she goes through a portal, and they follow her. But what they don't know, what they realize, is that they hear the whirring. They're like a buzzsaw, like a bunch of bees. They know the guardian, the Tazmanian Devil, is coming. And they split. The zombies run off. All right? So Wonder Woman,
the zombies recognize it?
Yeah, the zombies.
They know not to mess with Tasmanian Devil.
They don't fuck with Tasmanian Devil.
He's been on the island that long, where zombies have been long enough to know and recognize his sound, and he hasn't. He's like, you know what? That's cool. They can hang out.
Listen, man, who doesn't know the whirring horror of the Tasmanian Devil at this point?
Are the zombies his subjects on the island, or is that just like a nuisance that's not?
They were in the maze. They were in the maze. They were haunting the maze, and they went through a portal, and they ended up where the Tasmanian Devil is, and they went, you know what? Exit stays right. We're out of here. And they went back into the maze. They ran away.
Okay.
All right. So, all of a sudden, this cyclone comes around her, and it's ripping trees up and tossing rocks and just killing all the vermin around, and boom, there she is, face to face with the Tasmanian Devil. And Taz says, in his spitting and crying and carrying on, that he's going to put her on a spit. He's going to roast her like a suckling pig. Suckling Wonder Woman, Josh Calandros. That's what the kids want to see. Wonder Woman on a plate. Crispy flesh. that's what the Tasmanian devil is threatening her with. And she says in her come hither type voice, in her kind of sexy Wonder Woman way, really now, I'm surprised you'd even bother to cook me. Oh, shit, Dr. Landros. This is what you just want to see.
Oh, no, she didn't.
Taz is just like, no one reacts to me like that. And, you know, it just, so, one
if they fall in love, I quit.
If they fall in love.
Close. Let me get through my pitch, okay? I'm on a roll here. We're rolling. All right, so she's face-to-face with the Taz. The Taz is suddenly dumbstruck by Wonder Woman showing no fear, baby, no fear. And she says, listen, I understand you want to eat me, but that's just one meal. Give a man a fish, he eats once. Teach a man a fish, he eats for days. She says to him, I will come back with a feast fit for a king. And he's just like, who are you trying to pull the wool over, bitch? Nah, I ain't falling for it. And he's like, no. You're trying to get away. You're trying to pull a trick on the old Taz. This isn't just the dumb Taz from the Bugs Bunny cartoon. This is the Guardian Taz, and he knows what's up. And he starts to tear up shit again, and Wonder Woman is in danger. She can't take Taz by herself. So she comes up with another weapon, a weapon of mass destruction, the harp. The harp. Are you kidding me, Josh Calandros? Imagine that. A woman on the big screen, she doesn't use a sword, she doesn't use a shield, she doesn't use a gun. She pulls out a harp, and she plays sultry tunes, baby. Oh, come on. Sultry tunes on the harp, and she puts the beast to sleep.
Oh,
and she cuts off a bit of his hair to prove that she took down the beast Tasmanian devil, and she goes back. Now, that's all flashback, okay? We are now present day. And she finds Taz again, and Taz is like, look, you pulled the wool over my eyes. You ran off when you said you wouldn't. You cheated. You lied. You said you loved me. And he's like, why shouldn't I just bite your head off right now? And she says, I need your help. It's the classic team-up, baby. Come on now. Taz versus Wonder Woman, Taz and Wonder Woman. You know the deal. So they team up. Here's what Wonder Woman wants to do, okay? As it turns out, there was a celebration on Themyscira, and it got interrupted by an army of trolls being led by Circe, I believe is how you pronounce it, C-R-I-C-E. And she has the Talisman of Uriel, which looks like it's got Medusa the Gorgon on it. And what does she do? What does Medusa always do, baby? She starts turning people to stone. Oh, come on now. You've got your villain of this thing is the Circe broad with the Gorgon, with the Talisman of the Uriel, turning everyone to stone on Themyscira. All right? It's Wonder Woman versus this chick. There's your conflict. And she just starts wiping out all the Amazons. They can't handle it. They can't hang, right? So Wonder Woman's got to run before she gets turned into a statue and obliterated. And that's where we get back with her and Taz again. See, what she really needs actually is a talisman from the Minotaur's amulet. That'll undo the magic, you see. But she can't find the Minotaur on her own. She needs Taz as her guide. So Taz agrees. They make a deal that this time he gets the feast that she promised him so many ages ago if he can lead her to the Minotaur. So, as it turns out, and I'm just going to share this with you, at one point, Taz has got a hold of the lasso of truth, and he says to her that he's not mad at Diana for running out on him. She says, Taz not mad, you tricked I. Taz sad, you took the music away. Oh, can you feel it, Josh Calandro? Can you feel that? Tugs right at your heartstrings. So Taz and Wonder Woman have many adventures. They fight frost giants, and they're going through the maze, and they're trying to find the Minotaur, and eventually they come across him, and the Minotaur is like, I don't take kindly to strangers, and a fight ensues, and Taz does his thing, and he knocks down this canopy that was over the Minotaur and knocks him out, and they get the amulet, and they go back, and they take on the troll army, and they take on Circe, and good wins the day. Can you feel it, Josh Calandros? Can you feel the story I'm pitching you? This is good versus evil. It's classic. And you see it on the big screen. Taz gets the feast. Wonder Woman saves all the Amazons in Themyscira. Good succeeds. Evil is punished. That's the end of our story.
Oh, boy.
Top that.
Well, I'm tired. I have one question before Josh gets in this.
Okay.
Who were you trying to convince, yourself or Josh?
I thought it was a great
Josh,
story. I really enjoyed that. I'm just like,
Josh,
look, I go ahead.
No, I was just saying, Josh, it's the ball's in your court, but apparently, it's not.
So my thoughts are, I'm gonna pull real short of the movie idea. but I think,
you don't see that as Wonder Woman the sequel? What?
Yeah, no, probably not. I think honestly, like as a story idea, that's probably about as much sense as you're gonna make this type of a crossover with those two characters. That makes sense. That's not too bad. Like I could probably be potentially convinced to read that at some point. But so this is going to be one caveat that I'm going to have here too, is that this at the end of this, I'm going to end up picking one, and but I'm going to actually buy it. So this isn't something that like I'm going to be like, you know what, I'm going to read this because I can read. I mean, if we really wanted to, we could really read them through illicit means if we wanted. But I'm going to pick one at the end.
We have friends on the internet. Okay.
Yeah, so that wasn't too bad. I mean, that makes sense with the characters, right? I mean, I can. There were a couple of these that I saw the pairs. I was like, you know what, that could potentially make sense. I didn't really know how they were going to do this particular one, but that at least could potentially make sense. Not bad.
This story was written by Tony Bedard, Bedard. Now, I didn't recognize that name. Hop over to Wikipedia. He's known for his work at Cross Gen Comics, which I've heard of that, where he was under exclusive contract, and for his run writing Marvel Comics X-Men spinoff Exiles. That's kind of yeah. That's kind of. I mean, you
he
guys
wrote like
know about
43 issues of Exiles too. He really did a big run of that.
Wow. Mark, I want to ask.
I just want to know.
Oh, go ahead, Mark.
One second. I just want to know, Josh. Did you like my passion? Could you feel my passion for this?
Could definitely feel the passion.
Okay. Listen, man. If you got to pitch strong. You can't be walking into a pitch meeting and be like, I got this fucking story for you. It's Wonder Woman and some guy running around. They get an amulet. They kill
I don't know what the hell's going on.
You got to bring the passion. Is all I'm saying.
Woman, monster, enemy, villain.
Just wait for my pitch on some of these.
Well, I wanted to ask Mark about the whole. I'm used to Tazmanian Devil spinning around, throwing shit. Was that pretty evident in the comic, or did they just make him like this mythical beast monster, and they kind of threw that kind of to the side?
No, he absolutely spins. He absolutely spins. He also talks in like that.
Oh,
he
does
just
he really?
Understands him. Yeah. Well, the way that it's shown in the comic is it's implied that's what he's doing, but the way they make him speak, like the way they draw him speaking, is like, for example, with the whole "I'm going to cook you and eat you," they actually just draw Diana on a stick, and then they draw her with the apple in her mouth, and they draw her like tied up on a plate, like a pork tenderloin.
And so that's in his word bubble?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like this whole layout here is she's cooking on a spit. That's in his word bubble. His next word bubble is her pork tenderloin. Her next word bubble is suckling Diana. And then she goes back to her and she's like, really now? I'm surprised you'd even bother to cook me. And then the next thing is just question marks over his head.
Was Wonder Woman tied up quite a few times in that book?
No. She's only tied up in his word bubble.
I was going to say. I thought maybe...
She's not really prone a whole lot in the story.
Okay. One of the things that Wonder Woman was criticized for back in the day was all about bondage when she was drawn. And she got a lot of criticism for that. What's funny is that I'm sure that they did this with a lot of the books, because in the 2 books that I read, there are hints to DC history throughout the book, along with Looney Tunes history throughout the book. So that's pretty cool. I think that was a neat way of tossing those 2 together.
Also, we were talking about Tony BEDARD that wrote this. He also wrote the Hour Man series that I really love. That was about I almost have the Android Hour Man.
I almost have the complete run of that from the 90s, right? Or is it early 2000s?
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
It was 99 to 2001. Yeah, it was only 25 issues.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure I have every issue. I might be missing one.
I lucked into that in remember that deal I did on Craigslist? I was keeping you guys like, oh man, I got 2 long boxes from some guy at Craigslist who met me at Go-Mart, and one of those was the Hour Man series. Got a ton. I mean, if I don't have the complete run, I'm only missing a few issues because there was a lot there, and I still haven't read them. They're still sitting there, so maybe I'll have to check them out.
It's really good. It's interesting. I have every issue but number 17.
Okay. Well, now I've got a choice to make. I'm up next, right? I'm next.
Mm-hmm.
I have a choice to make here as to which one I want to end strong, but I don't know if the first one's either strong enough to hold me over or just horrible enough to let me go on to the second one, because the second one may be better. I don't know. Let's find out. I bring to you Josh Calandris, written by Bill Morrison, art and cover by Kelly Jones. Fast and Fragius. That's right, Lobo Roadrunner. Okay? Did you ever want to know the origin of what the Looney Tunes are in the DC universe? Because in here we get a bit of a peek. Just where did they come from? How did they show up in the DC universe? Well, in the first few pages of Lobo Roadrunner Special, we are treated to how Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner and a few other Looney Tunes were created. The story takes place, I want to take you back here, another flashback to Nevada, 1949. And if anybody knows what happened in Nevada in 1949, what could possibly have contributed to the Looney Tunes being what they are? That's right, my guess is aliens. Specifically, a scientist crossing animals with alien DNA. Everything seems to go fine until one day their coyote experiment wisens up while in the tube and figures out a way to escape along with the rest of the other hybrid animals. During the escape, Wile E. Coyote is consumed by a hunger to eat the Roadrunner. And of course, countless decades, almost 70 years, Josh Calandris, pass up to present where Wile E. Coyote, who I don't know if he's immortal, I have no idea, but I can tell you that they're still alive. And
it's pretty clear that he's immortal. I think we can pretty safely say that Wile E. Coyote, if we've all watched the cartoons, it's pretty clear he's immortal.
That's true. So we're up to present time where Wile E. Coyote is, we just see decade after decade, scheme after scheme, thwarted every single time by the Roadrunner. He can never best the Roadrunner. Then one day, Wile E. Coyote is again captured and sent to Area 52. And with the help of Sam the mutated sheepdog, they devise a plan to shoot Wile E. Coyote into space on an intercept course with the intergalactic main man himself, Lobo. Wile E. Coyote's plan is to hire Lobo to kill the nemesis that continually evades him, the Roadrunner. The main man does his best in epic Looney Tunes fashion, but fails again and again, just like Wile E. Coyote has done in the past. You can imagine this, Josh Calandris. Lobo, sitting there with doing all these goofy things that Wile E. Coyote has done as well. The similarities are uncanny, but Lobo meets his defeat in a few more gruesome ways than what we're used to seeing Wile E. Coyote meet in the cartoons that we're aware of. A couple of which involve actual exploding Lobo. I mean, Lobo, there's this one point, I want to describe this scene to you. Lobo has a grenade in his hand, a frag grenade, believe it or not. And he's going, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the character Lobo, but the word frag comes up quite a bit. But he's going to throw this grenade, and he's going to kill the Roadrunner. And what do you know? Roadrunner comes up right behind him, beep, beep, and he loses the grip on the grenade. It flies up in the air, lands in Lobo's mouth, and boom, his head explodes. Thank goodness for that healing factor, apparently, because one panel later, Lobo's back together again. That's right. Lobo is immortal as well.
The next
but it all,
panel.
And then, dude, seriously, it all comes to a close after Wile E. finds Lobo and relieves him of his duty to nab the Roadrunner, and they end up going their separate ways with a bit of a twist ending. Now, let me explain a little bit about this, because this is pretty neat. I thought this was like, oh, okay. Wile E. Coyote, when he went up and he met Lobo in space, he's like, dude, you've got to go down and kill the Roadrunner for me. Lobo's like, well, I'll tell you what, I'm in the middle of a mission. You do my mission. I'll kill your Roadrunner for you. So guess what, Josh Calandros? Guess what Lobo's mission was? His mission was to go to Oa and kill Kilowog. That's right. Wile E. Coyote is off to assassinate the Green Lantern himself, Kilowog. Now, when
this is all illogical, but this turn is this is taking an early lead here.
Here's the thing: the guy that originally put Lobo up to killing Kilowog finds Wile E. Coyote and says, "No, look, I'm calling off the contract. No problem. Don't do it. I was upset because the Green Lanterns kicked me out of their program. I don't want to do it." So Wile E. Coyote's like, "Thank goodness, because I was getting my ass handed to me by Kilowog," which he, pretty much was. However, when he comes back and he relieves Lobo of his duty, the last panel is Wile E. Coyote staring into our faces with a Green Lantern ring on his finger, dude. Wile E. Coyote stole a Green Lantern ring. Boom. That's it. Over with. That's the end of my story. What do you think of that, Josh Calandros?
That is that's different. so I think again, I think like that potentially makes sense, right? He's kind of like a hired assassin, like Lobo in space.
Yes,
so that makes
right.
sense. So you can piece that together as potentially flimsy as it may be. The Kilowog thing threw me for a loop. That doesn't make any sense. but that's fine. This story sounded like it was more about the original Looney Tunes roots, like the fun of it and some of the silliness than it was kind of try to bring it into a legit serious type.
Oh yeah, dude.
Thing.
There are elements of the Looney Tunes humor throughout this. Specifically, I mean, come on, Roadrunner. How is he always escaping? And I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting to see how Lobo deals with this. Is it going to get violent? Is it going to get bloody? And everything happens to Lobo. I mean, he can't do anything to kill this freaking Roadrunner. So yes.
So the Roadrunner clearly has a pact with Satan. End of story. Got it.
Well, that was what I was thinking. I was like, he might have some kind of weird DC power. Yeah. And I should mention that there was a shot there in the beginning where they were showing 1949. Clearly, there is a floating Sylvester the Cat in one of the tubes. So there was a few Looney Tunes that were supposedly created
terrifying.
Because of. So
absolutely
anyway,
terrifying.
that is my pitch for for that Lobo Roadrunner. So,
all right,
wouldn't make a good movie.
It
wouldn't make a good movie though. It wouldn't make a better movie than Wonder Woman Tasmanian Devil. I'm just gonna say that.
Sure.
I think it'd make a better cartoon than Wonder Woman Tasmanian Devil.
Well, I'm not pitching cartoons, baby doll. I'm pitching movies here.
That's fine. Okay, that's fine. But that's the lofty expectations you set then. So far, so as of now, I'm putting like the Wonder Woman. I like the Wonder Woman story process a little bit. I feel like that. Yeah, I feel like that is a potentially plausible story I'd be interested to read. Whereas
Ronnie Adams,
the Lobo story just kind of felt like the cartoons.
I want Ronnie Adams' opinion on 1949 Nevada origin of Looney Tunes.
No.
Long pause.
For the
one
trees,
word.
ladies and gentlemen.
All right,
Gotta
I'm
be
done,
rooted
man.
in sci-fi or horror. That's the only. The origins have to be sci-fi or horror, and then they find their way into this fun little atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. I defer over to you, Ronnie Adams. It's all you, man. What are you bringing to the forefront here? What's your first pitch?
I'm going with Martian Manhunter and Marvin the Martian.
Oh boy!
Wow, not where I thought you'd start.
This one's interesting to me because I don't. I do know a little bit about Martian Manhunter, whereas I literally I knew nothing about Lobo aside from he's like some space mercenary. Like I've never read a Lobo book. I've never read a team up or remotely related Lobo book. So that was kind of I'm starting a little bit lower on that one.
My advice to you would be to go ahead and buy it. Just let it win, buy it, and then you've read a Lobo story.
Don't you try to clear the judge, man.
Lobo was DC's answer to Wolverine, to my knowledge. But they made him it depends on the writer, but his strength is either on par with Superman or below it. He uses a big old chain and a metal hook and smokes cigars a lot and has pet space dolphins.
It's out there.
Yeah, so I like Lobo, but team him up with the Roadrunner there. Anyway, so I got Martian Manhunter and Marvin the Martian. Oh boy.
Godspeed.
Yeah, this pitch doesn't sound good already.
Yeah,
let's take this
wonder's
journey
into
the. Yeah, let's take there's passion, all right. Let's take this wondrous journey into the absurd. And we've got story opens up. John Jones, J''ONN, J''ONZZ, John Jones. No, that's
John
important. That's important. Because that's his Martian name, which when he takes the form of a human, is John Jones, JOHNJONES, because why not?
Because
Americans don't like apostrophes in your name.
No.
You have an apostrophe in your name. You must be from Mars, America. So we open up with Martian Manhunter staring into this green portal, lamenting on how he's so alone because all of his kind are dead. And he comes to this portal, this space bridge, this whatever, every so often just to see if there's anybody out there like him. But as he says in the book, I remain alone. Until he says, what? Through the portal comes a kind of ripped up Marvin the Martian with his big old Centurion helmet and eyes staring out of a featureless black face.
You say
Martian,
ripped up.
Marvin the Martian?
This dude's like, Marvin the Martian's like huge now?
He's a little wiry. He's he's not like Superman or Marvin or Martian Manhunter big, but he's a little wiry.
Okay.
he just says, "Oh, hello," and says, and it goes on. John Jones. I'm going to start calling him John because I'm going to get them mixed up. He says, "Your form is unusual, but I know the feel of your mind." And they realize that each other are Martians. And he said, "My name is John Jones, the last of our kind until now." He said, "The last Martian? Then I'm almost too late." And the gate explodes, and John's like, "No, I forgot to fix the gate." He says, "Where are you from? Your arrival overloaded the circuits, and but it can be repaired." So they're just kind of chilling there, talking to each other, and then he says, "What brought you to Earth? What's going on?" And Marvin says, "Earth." He said, "Then there's still time to save you." So through some dialogue, Marvin reveals to John that he is on a mission to go through the multiverse to destroy Earth, all the Earths. Because,
all the Earths.
All the Earths.
Oh,
he
wow.
wants to save the Martians from utter destruction from Earth. So he is going to destroy I hated this book. So he finds a puddle, pulls out a pill that says just add water. He throws it into the puddle, and he creates himself a spaceship, flying saucer, and he flies away. And John Jones says, "I will not let you fight. I will not let you destroy Earth." And they know each other's names by now. He introduced himself as Marvin, and so John says, "I've made a terrible mistake," and he goes off. After Marvin, and he says, and he calls to him right as he's getting ready to attack Earth. And he says, "Marvin, M''ARVINN."
So Marvin has shape-shifted into this form is the context, right?
No, he's still the same Looney Tunes form. He's got the space gun on his hip.
But they're both
Martian on the internet.
No. He has no powers. He's from a different universe. He's traveling the multiverse.
Alternate. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he's an alternate Mars. So he doesn't have the same powers as John Jones. He says, "Oh, you can fly. Martian evolution seems wonderful." And they go on to stop this now. He says, "No, I'm going to blow up the Earth." And he says, "You can't do this." And Marvin says, "Why is that?" He said, "They need guidance, not destruction." So Marvin says, "No, screw that. I'm going to blow it up." And he pulls out a fancy-looking device, Illudium Q36 explosive space modulator, but it's a stick of dynamite.
Right.
Classic.
"Give me that. You're not listening." And he says, "No one is activating anything." And Marvin says, "It looks pretty active to me." And you look at it, and it's got a fuse on it. He lit the fuse. Now, seriously, it's got a fuse on it, like a stick of dynamite. So John throws it in the air. He throws it accidentally towards a plane and blows up the plane. Marvin uses that, or disables the plane, which kind of, he accidentally threw it into the engine, and he used it only blew up the engine of the plane. A device that was going to use to blow up the world only blew up an engine of the plane. There's a little, continuity error there. So it blows off blows the wing, blows up the engine, blows the wing off, and Marvin uses his distraction to get away. So John Jones saves the airplane by, because he's, got the strength of Superman, kind of. So he flies the plane down. They're all blaming him. They're like, "No, you did this to us, you and that other one." He said, "No, I didn't do it. I saved you." He said, "Yeah, tell that to your friend. You all caused this." And John says, "He is not my friend." So he's going to break bad on Marvin the Martian, who's about 2'3", and has a head the size of a basketball on a, So anyway, Marvin is attacking the army, and he is shooting at them with his pistol from his flying saucer, and nothing can get through. They've used tanks. They've used bullets. Nothing can get through, can destroy his flying saucer from a pill. Just add water. So they're talking. There's a lot of dialogue in
I'm
this.
I'm purchasing tomorrow.
And there's a lot of dialogue in this. John Jones is trying to tell him, no, they need guidance. Why are you doing this? This isn't the way we do things. And Marvin says, no, F all that. I'm going to blow everything up again. And he starts melting things and blowing things up. And then he gets into what looks to be like Area 51, but I don't think it is. But he goes in, and it's just a weapons locker of all the stuff that they found, because it's comic book, and they've had all these different weapons from different worlds and different villains. And Marvin sees one and says, oh, my, yes, isn't that lovely? And it's a large drill. So after John Jones takes care of the army and says, hey, I'm here to protect you. You've got to trust me. And they're like, all right, begrudgingly, we trust you. Now go do your thing. And it's actually Area 52. I just read that. I forgot about that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he said, John, I found just the thing to atomize his cosmic speed bump. And so the general says, no, I don't trust either one of them. Unleash the hounds. And it's this giant exoskeleton robot thing that starts fighting both of them. Once again, Marvin runs away to let John take care of this robot, and the entire time he's sing-songing. He's in the sing-song voice. Says, "I told you so, John." He says, John Jones rips the front of this robot off and reveals the soldier underneath it. Says, "Is this what you want so badly? Violence, base fear?" He says, "No, Martian, but I'll take it time and again to protect my people." And John has an idea. It goes into more dialogue, go figure, of them trying to figure each other out. And then all of a sudden, Marvin reveals that I won't stop, John. I care about you and every surviving Martian across the multiverse. I tried to tell my people not to bother with humanity, that their ways would infect us and destroy us. I failed to convince them. A chance to save another Martian anywhere is rare. So he actually came from Mars, and on his Mars in the multiverse, everyone has large black featureless heads on tiny bodies, and they all wear Centurion. It's like a Roman Empire kind of deal.
Yeah,
that's where the helmet came from. So he goes, on my Mars, I failed to save my family. Failure doesn't mean you have to doesn't have to define the future. Marvin says, "F your couch," shoots him with a ray gun, and he says, when you come to it, it will all be over. Come to, my friend, it will all be over. He shoots him, and so John kind of breaks bad, fights through the fear of the fire, that he's on fire because of the ray gun. He kind of just is floating there, and it kind of scares Marvin. He goes, "John," and so Marvin gets this giant laser cannon rifle thing, and then he says, basically, how can you stand in my way? You have to choose. It's me or them, and you've made your choice. And then he shoots John, and there's regret, and then it shows Marvin digging into the Earth's core and blowing up the Earth. He says, "There, that's better," and Marvin flies away.
What?
Hours later in Area 52, it shows John Jones standing with that general, and it says, "Is it permanent?" And it shows Marvin the Martian jumping up and down in a cell. And it says, "Long enough, General. The Mavana can only be used once by my people. It's an incredible strain on our minds. Luckily, this illusion required only a fraction of its full power. In Marvin's mind, he has destroyed us all. He will remain docile in his own personal reality until I am able to rebuild the Ertl and send him home."
Sequel.
Who knows what we would have lost?
The sequel's coming.
Who knows what we would have lost? Hold on. Who knows what we would have lost fighting him, Manhunter? We owe you. I have only one request, General. No matter what happens, don't give in to fear. Don't give in to distrust. And don't give up on me. And I promise I will never give up on you." And then I vomited and put down the book.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, so this is like a big relationship book between Marvin and John Jones. as
It
they.
sounds super
talky.
half-assed. It sound like a super half-assed relation attempt, though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of John
Like that-
Jones, like, this is John Jones's arc, and Marvin Martian's sort of just there, but he's, like, struggling with, well, I care for all Martians. I care for all trees. I am the Lorax. I care for all Martians. You know, no matter where they are.
I'm the Lorax, dang it.
The whole story is, like, he wants to help Marvin. He wants a relationship with Marvin. Marvin is so hell-bent on destroying the Earth that John Jones realizes that he can't exist. He's a menace to the multiverse, and there's no beating him either. He's too strong for some odd reason. So the way to take him down is to make him believe he succeeded.
So this book was written by two different people. Like it was co-written by a couple of guys. No. Like it was co-written by a couple of different people. So I don't know if that means
two
that
people
one
coming
wrote
together.
I don't know if
dude.
I don't know if one wrote
No.
A and one wrote B. You know, I don't know. But the thing, all I'm saying, one of those people currently writes the Justice League title.
Oh.
So yeah, like he writes
what
the
happened?
Justice League ongoing, and he also writes the Supergirl ongoing, which I dropped after like 3 books.
Oh my God.
2 people.
That's
No,
all
dude.
I'm going to say. That's all I'm saying.
Steve Orlando and Frank Barberi, I believe, both had their hands in this story. So
Yeah, they're both listed on there. And Steve Orlando, like I said, I'm not going to completely write anybody off from one book. I mean, you don't know what's going on. But that
you might have
Supergirl book,
arrows in there or something.
well, like that Supergirl book that I talked about a few months ago about, you know, the first DC comic I ever picked up, again, on a pull list. Like, I dropped it after 3 or 4 issues. It just wasn't really very good. And, I mean, I'd read that guy's stuff again, but, I mean, it'd have to be something I'm pretty excited about. So, this one's probably below the Lobo story for me so far, but which is pretty crazy because I thought, you know what, like Martian Manhunter, Marvin the Martian, like at least I can see that making sense. You don't have to stretch as hard maybe as some of these other ones with that. There's already a natural connection.
I know, right? So when I got this, when I was assigned this, I was like, okay, I can make it work. I was kind of hoping for the Lobo story because I like Lobo.
Correction, I don't think you were assigned this. We were choosing.
No, well, I was. Yes,
we were
you all
choosing.
chose it for me.
You chose
this.
this one. You chose this one.
No, I didn't.
How did you
If I
not
remember
choose
correctly,
this
if I could interject here, I only chose one. I got assigned one, and I chose one. I chose Wonder Woman, Tasmanian Devil. I got assigned Jonah Hex and Yosemite Sam.
Oh, okay. All right, then. All right. I figured we were going like worst to least. My bad.
In my opinion, you came out on top with Jonah Hex and Yosemite Sam. But,
I'm kind of of the opinion that one at least makes sense. Like, there are some of these that on the surface you're like, you know what? At least that makes sense. Like, I don't know.
Right.
So this is the other uphill battle that we're going to have too, is that I don't know anything about Jonah Hex, like at all. Kind of like what I was saying about Lobo. I know that's as far as I got with it. Like that's what I know about Jonah Hex. That's my depth of knowledge. So This is going to be a little bit more of an uphill battle to sell me on it because I don't have any connection to it. But at least on the surface, I'm thinking, okay, that at least makes sense for Yosemite Sam, I guess. Whatever. Like,
and Josh Brolin played him.
Did he get a movie? Was there a Jonah Hex movie?
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
It was kind of awful.
Yep. It did not do well.
What's-her-face was in it from the Transformers movies.
I might have seen it and don't even remember seeing it, if I did. What is it? Yeah.
What?
Did we watch Jonah Hex, the movie? No. Nope.
All right, so on a $47 million budget, it did $10 million. Yeah, this thing fucking tanked hard.
Oh, wow. Wow. All right.
That's the type of shit that makes sure you never work in
amazing
Hollywood again.
It had a pretty amazing cast, too. had Josh Brolin, John Malkovich, Megan Fox, Michael Fassbender, Will Arnett, Michael Shannon, and Wes Bentley. I mean, they tried.
I blame Megan Fox.
Listen, I know our whole point was to sell these to Josh, but excuse me, I don't want you to think I'm like all negative, but after reading this story, there's no way this had a snowball's chance in hell of ever Josh going, you know what? I'd like to read that, because after I read it, I was like, I wish I'd never read that. Right, I know Josh. I've known Josh for close to 20 years. I don't want him to read this. I know him, and I consider him a dear friend, and I would not put him through this.
Here's my summary. Don't read it. Next.
All right. So
Man, I wish I thought of that.
I have a question for you, Josh Calandros. Are you ready? Are you ready to be wowed?
Yes.
Okay. Do you like Westerns, Josh Calandros? Classic Westerns?
I do.
Oh, well, let me tell you a tale of the Old West.
Go on.
Well, let me tell you, you're going to be sorely disappointed in this story.
I am prepared to be regaled.
Please allow me to spin you a yarn of 19th century Cripple Creek, Colorado. Yosemite Sam, the rootinest, tootinest, vomit shootinest Westerner who ever crossed the Pecos, and he ain't no mamby-pamby. Yosemite Sam strikes gold in a shared mine with 3 of his partners. But his partners can't be trusted as far as they can be thrown, Josh Calandros. And they collude to rob him of his rightful claim and split it 3 ways. Well, our hero, Yosemite Sam, he catches wind of it, and he ain't no mamby-pamby, like I said before, and he ain't Mahatma Gandhi either. Sam blows them all to kingdom. That's actually from a cartoon.
Okay. I can't take credit.
Sam blows them all to kingdom come as he sputters off a list of appropriate expletives that sets the stage for the carnage that is to come. So Sam's got this claim, right? But he ain't got no backup. He ain't got nobody to protect him. So who does he call who happens to just be in town, just a passing through, doing his own thing? The loner, the cowboy, the bounty hunter, Jonah Hex. Oh, no. Yes. Yosemite Sam hires Jonah Hex to protect him and his claim until he can, mine the gold and trade it in and get rich. And he intends to pay Jonah Hex every dime that he's worth. So he just needs to make sure no cotton-picking claim jumpers get the jump on him, you see. Now, along the way, there happens to be a professional boxer, who gets into a bit of trouble or he starts to drown in the river. So this is where we meet Foghorn Leghorn.
Oh, no!
Foghorn Leghorn.
What?
No.
I say, what you doing there, Jonah Hex?
The Foghorn Leghorn. There's been a catastrophe. He's drowning in the creek, right? And
is the catastrophe that a man-sized rooster is roaming Earth? That's a catastrophe.
That's the least of their problems. Okay.
Oh.
So this man-sized rooster
seems like a substantial problem on the surface.
Nope. And I will explain why it's perfectly acceptable that a man-sized rooster is roaming Colorado. So this boxer, this rooster, this Foghorn Leghorn has taken a nasty spill, and he's in the river, you see. And Yosemite Sam, being pure of heart, won't just let a poor old rooster drown. And he goes in and he saves him. He saves Foghorn Leghorn. And Foghorn Leghorn owes him a debt of gratitude for saving his life. Now, as it turns out, Foghorn Leghorn works for a local circus, being a freak, as is clear by the fact that he has rooster features.
Rooster features? He has a freaking features.
So he saves he saves Foghorn Leghorn. Foghorn Leghorn owes him a debt of gratitude, and he invites him to watch him box at the circus. This is old timey. This is what gave birth to modern professional wrestling, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you done lost already.
Act. Okay, so we're gonna get people from the audience to come in and try.
I'm done with it. No more.
He's still with it. Come on now, listen. I'm trying to pitch you here. Let's be open-minded.
Good.
Good. So, what do you call it? He invites him to watch his circus performance. He's like, "Well, I haven't got time for that. I got this mine I got to deal with, but I'll catch you along the way." So they go into town, and as it turns out, we got a couple of hookers with some loose lips. Let it be known that Sam's got this claim, and the people that run the circus find out about it.
That's a funny choice of words.
They're fixing to get a jump on his claim and knock Sam off. Oh, no. So the circus that Foghorn Leghorn works for is out to get Sam. And it all comes together at Sam's at this cottage. Now, along the way, there's some boxing that happens with Foghorn Leghorn, and he ends up actually losing one of his fights. They nearly kill, by the way, the guy that beats him, Bill Weasel from the Bronx. Okay? So Bill Weasel from the Bronx, who was a human, beats the living shit out of Foghorn Leghorn and nearly leaves him for dead. The circus nearly kills him. And this is where Foghorn Leghorn finds out they're fixing to kill Sam. Oh, no, he's got to get word to Sam. He owes him a debt of gratitude. So he picks his carcass up, and he goes to find Sam. And this all, like I said, this all comes to a head. It's a shootout at the OK Corral, baby doll. It's this one cottage. The circus people and all the freaks are coming down on them. And it's only Jonah Hex and Sam with their guns ready to defend themselves. And we have this massive action-packed, you can see it on the screen, this action-packed shootout happens, and Sam and Jonah Hex eventually take down the circus. Sam goes into town, he gets the gold, trades the gold for money, pays off Jonah Hex. Jonah Hex goes his way. Foghorn Leghorn and Yosemite Sam are rich, and they go their way, and that is the end of the story. It's fantastic.
That is
very
weird. Very weird. I feel like the inclusion of Foghorn Leghorn was pretty much a monkey wrench in the whole shit.
Oh, well, but
so was there no reference to the Deep South with him? Like it was just all in Colorado, and I figured they would have played some reference to some weird deep Southern thing because
it is strange that they chose him and not like some other human Looney Tune, like or human. I don't know. It's just strange. I agree.
It is, right? Like that feels like this feels like this is one of the ones that didn't have to deal with some weird anthropomorphic character justification in a story. They forced it anyway with one of the weirdest.
I think Foghorn Leghorn and Yosemite Sam were a nice pair up together. Now, why they couldn't make Foghorn Leghorn just a human being and why they had to make him a large rooster, I couldn't tell you. But here's the conversation that happens here. Okay, so so we have this panel where this woman's like, dear sir, one of our own is drowning. What in the Sam Hill? You sure got a lot of scribbles on you, don't you? She's covered in tattoos. Can't none of you swim? Sadly, no. Can you save him for me? Ooh, Yosemite Sam can't say no to laments of a lady of the fairer sex. I'm a meanest, toughest, rip-roaringest, skinny, dippingest, hombre, whatever, packed up six-shooter. And she's like, please hurry. I go, all right, don't rush me.
Stop with this ridiculous oratory. This man speaks funny.
So Yosemite Sam dives into the water. Relax, fella, I'm a-comin'. You're a mighty big galoot, ain't you? And he recognizes the fact that he just saved a rooster. That there is one ugly feather-covered critter I just saved. She's like, are you okay, Foggy? Why, yes, indeedy. Help me, I say. Help me up. Sir, I say, sir, I want to thank you for saving my life. I owe you a debt of gratitude. What in tarnation are you? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is
I don't like to talk about it.
Here's the origins, okay? Here's the origins of good old Foggy. My family originally hails from Tuscany, Italy, but I call the great state of Alabama.
Whoa. Nope, lost. I'm lost. Nope.
Wait.
His answer was Italy. We're done. Who's next? Jesse, are you next?
No. Listen to the whole answer, okay? My family originally hails from Tuscany, Italy, but I call the great state of Alabama, and now this traveling circus my real home. I'm a part of a long line of circus folks. See, he's a mutant. That's the whole thing. He's a mutant.
Yep.
So I was checking out the writers for this. This is by far the most interesting writer pair. So there's a writer and there's a backup written by. The one that it says written by is Jimmy Palmiotti, who has written like 60 issues of Jonah Hex.
Yeah.
The other is backup written by Bill Matheny, who has written like 30 issues of the Looney Tunes book. So they got these two guys to come together, which on the surface, this is Jonah Hex and Looney Tunes, that makes sense. But, like, the guy that wrote Jonah Hex wrote this, and the Looney Tunes guy was like, what about if we had an anvil come down? And dude's like, quit this shit. Just stop it. Just stop it.
I thought you were going to say the actual writer was the backup writer was his pet monkey Bobo. Oh no, wait, that was my story because it sucked.
All right, Josh, where do you fit this one in? Isn't it great? Right under Wonder Woman, right?
It's not. It's definitely not above the Wonder Woman one.
No, right under. It's Wonder Woman, then Jonah Hex, Yosemite Sam.
Oh, he won't be satisfied unless he's 1-2. 1-2.
No, I don't think. I don't know.
Lobo's got to beat Mark. Just face it.
Man, I don't know, dude. The whole Foghorn Leghorn thing is just absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Why are you hung up on this? If you've never seen circus freaks with odd features, rooster features, perhaps.
I've never seen a circus freak with rooster features.
Yeah, I was gonna say your justification could have stopped at odd features, and you could not. You really hurt yourself by going rooster features by it. Because the answer then is a clear no.
I'm gonna go on the hunt for
no,
like
I've never.
18th century like circus freaks and find ones that have like bird features.
Oh yeah, do that,
just to
please.
prove my point.
Just post that on Facebook. Tag me in it. I can't wait to see. Announcing Bird Boy.
Don't you dare tag me in that, Mark Radulich.
I gotta get out a piece of paper and start. I gotta
right,
list this. I gotta start putting these in a justified order.
Here, let me help you. Wonder Woman, Jonah Hex, Yosemite Sam, Lobo, Marvin the Martian.
No.
That's how it went.
Yes.
The other two have not dropped.
We've heard already. Agreed.
We have not dropped. We have not dropped the other two. So, okay.
All right, I'm going to write these down.
All right. Here we go. You ready for the one that actually is going to win this thing? Are you ready?
I think so.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, but he's got to get through yours first.
Ouch. Written by Sam Humphries. Art by Tom Grummett. I present to you, Josh Calandris, the Legion of Superheroes Bugs Bunny Special. That's right. I said it. I tried to anyway. It didn't come out right. Legion of Superheroes, Bugs Bunny. In a future time, the 31st century to be somewhat exact, with future characters that I know nothing about, the Legion of Superheroes are facing a dire threat to one of their own. Supergirl is dying. With time running out, the Legion put their trust in Computo 2. That's right, there was a Computo 1, which turned evil at one point, but Brainiac 5 created a new one, and it's Computo 2. Their only hope to save Supergirl is an element called Illudium Fosdex. That's right, Illudium Fosdex. I don't know what the heck that is. If it has a tie into DC history, I have no clue. Seems like it may have. Illudium Fosdex that went extinct, unfortunately, in the 24 and a half century. The 24 and a half. Okay, that's with a TH. Century. All right, luckily, they have a time cube. You know, the 31st century has time cubes all over the place. They have a time cube, and based off of a vision that Dream Girl has had, they dispatch Computo 2 to find Superboy and that extinct element in the 21st century. Now, however, going back in time to Smallville, Computo 2 makes a decision to bring back a different resident from Smallville, one who is gray, white, and just finished planting his whole crop of carrots. That's right, one Bugs Bunny. Bugs has some issues acclimating to his new environment, as the Legion have determined there must be a reason that Computo 2 brought Bugs Bunny here instead of Superboy. What in the world? Why would Computo 2, he's an all-knowing computer, why would he do this?
A virus?
Now, I don't know. It's a possibility.
A severe computing error?
Possibility. Now, attempting to get out of there, attempting to leave, Bugs uses some classic Looney Tunes methods in order to leave and escape the Legion of Superheroes. There's even the reverse psychology gag that we are so familiar with from our days of watching Looney Tunes cartoons, you know, where the, yeah, I am, no, you're not, yeah, I am, no, you're not, no, I'm not, yeah, I am, no, I'm not, yeah, there you go. So that, Bugs Bunny uses that, and he even, at one point, he materializes this big bone out of nowhere, throws it out a window, and I guess one of the Legion of Superheroes has some kind of like dog-like traits or something and takes off after it. All the while, Lightning Lass, one of the core members of the Legions, the Legion of Superheroes, believes, get this, she believes that all these abilities that Bugs Bunny has, such as the reverse psychology thing, she believes that he's telepathic. The whole materializing a bone thing, she believes is a teleporter. All right? So Bugs Bunny has to be a superhero. Now, once she comes to this conclusion,
of course,
out of nowhere, the villainous Validus appears. This hulking purple creature with only a mouth and a see-through skull attacks the Legion. But we soon find out that Validus was in league with Computo 2. That's right, Josh Calandras, you weren't far off. There's something wrong with Computo 2. And they unleashed this secret weapon onto the members of the Legion that they've been battling since pretty much the first pages of this issue. You know what that secret weapon is, Josh Calandras? That secret weapon is angst. That's right, teenage angst. The Legion is crippled. They're worried about themselves.
Man, the future is weird.
They're worried about themselves. They're worried about what's going on. Lightning Lass is trying to figure out a way to get in the panel and put her hand up by her face, because that's what you see every time you see Lightning Lass, is her hand up by her mouth, covering her face. She's so angsty. Now, while the Legion are left immobile, dealing with their own angst, Bugs Bunny appears. And remember, here, Validus and Computo 2, their plan is to kill Supergirl. But Bugs Bunny appears dressed much like Superboy, and we find that Bugs had some special carrots stowed away under his bed when the Time Cube came and got him. That's right, special carrots. And they give him this pep. This pep that he needs to get...
eating some special carrots when they wrote this.
These special carrots give him this pep that he needs. He needs these carrots to get up and go when he needs to get a job done. So every once in a while, Bugs Bunny cracks open this stash and just bites into these carrots. Now, these carrots
They're
are
drugs.
pretty strange.
This makes so much more sense now.
It just so happens those carrots are made from Illudium Fosdex, the one thing that can cure and heal Supergirl. Bugs, of course, dispatches Validus with ease as the Legion recover from their angst-ridden torture to deal with Computo 2. And they find that Bugs' special carrots, like I said, Brainiac 5 discovers, hey, these things are made of Illudium Fosdex, and he builds a machine, and they save Supergirl's life with them. Chock full of classic Looney Tunes humor and DC homages, this book was not serious in the least. Could you tell, Josh Galanders? Which is exactly the way it should have been.
The whole
Go ahead.
thing, where does the angst thing come from? So like that was being weaponized.
Yes, Computo 2 hit them with an angst weapon.
All right, so all right. I'm just trying to follow along here. Holy shit! This is really.
Now here's the thing. Legitimately, this issue was not supposed to be serious in any way, shape, or form. There are so many gags.
And that's why this is making this really hard for me to evenly compare, right? So
you have to go.
Oh, dude.
You have to try to give it props for not being legitimate in any fashion. It really is. I mean, come on. When you read it, I'll tell you right now, the whole thing with the Legion, I don't know any of those characters. I have no idea who those characters are.
I don't either.
I get what Josh is saying because, like, you're pitched like 5 out of 6 serious A stories, and then you get this one, which is like a parody, basically.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but
over the top comedic.
The Lobo, Wally, Coyote, and Marvin. Well, not really the Marvin Martian one, but the Lobo, Wally, Coyote kind of flirted with that too. But I kind of assumed that if these were broken into story A's and B's, where B was kind of the more Looney Tunes one, then the A's would be a little bit more serious, which makes it harder for. Like, this one doesn't make any sense in that context, you know?
No, it really doesn't.
I agree.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad story, but I don't know anything about the Legion of Superheroes either, like you were saying, Jesse. Like, this is another DC property. Like, they picked some relatively, like, B-rate and some of the more obscure ones. Like, they didn't go with, like, a Superman story or a Green Lantern story or anything like that. Wonder Woman and Batman are covered. That's solid. But Martian Manhunter, Jonah Hex, Lobo, and the Legion of Superheroes is pretty, like upper level or mid-level second tier at best.
Yeah, and I'm going to make this easy for you, and I'm going to break the rules of this. I'm supposed to pitch this to you and make you want to buy this. Do not buy it because it is the backup story. The backup story is absolute shite. I mean, if it was, I mean, it's horrible because they literally do the story over again, except it's drawn by a different guy.
I just want to go on record saying I'm the only one, Josh, who is begging you to read both my stories. I'm like solidly behind my stories.
Oh, you sir, you have an
suck.
uphill battle, Mark Radulich, because I know what's coming next. I know what's left. I know what's left.
So Jesse,
His
you
name is
mentioned
Tom
that,
King.
and it's like, like so we'll get into that later. But like you mentioned the fact that like the comic book story. Did you say the B story was basically the same thing, or it was just bad?
Seriously, dude. I'm not saying it was bad like the first story. I'm telling you that it was 8 pages of practically a summary of the first story. So it rehashed everything.
Like, that's what you just described as the story for the A story that felt like something that should have been like the Looney Tunes
The bee,
plant.
yeah. I know, man. I know.
Okay, all right. That's weird. That's weird, but that's fine. So okay.
All right.
So why at the very beginning, I kind of redid my list, and so I've got the Wonder Woman Yosemite Sam at the top, and then
Wonder Woman
Lobo.
Tasmanian Devil. Wonder Woman Tasmanian Devil.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, so Wonder Woman Tasmanian Devil. I've got that one up at top. And then Lobo is number 2. Like after that, it's a log jam of like I don't really know. So number 2 is Lobo and Wile E. Coyote, and then number 3 is I guess I'm going with the Martian Manhunter one, and then Jonah Hex, and then Legion of Superheroes. Just because if you're comparing them all, you've got to try and at least find some level of context. And I mean, if we're going with like the A story initial focus of like a relatively serious attempt at it.
It's a classic Western tale. Hang on, it's a classic Western tale. A tale as old as time versus Martian Manhunter struggling with his loneliness as a Martian and realizing that this one nutbag has to be stopped. I don't know, man. I'd go with the classic Western. I'm just saying.
I mean, honestly, those are easily interchangeable. Like, it really does not. There's not a lot separating these books.
I want to argue that even though I said don't buy mine, if it wasn't for that B story, what you're getting with DC or what you're getting with Bugs Bunny and the Legion is a perfect story written for both properties.
Right.
I don't think the Legion was taken too serious, especially back in the 60s and 70s. You could read stories that were similar to that occurred back then. And I only know that from podcasts that I've listened to, but I've listened to quite a few Legion stories through other podcasts. So I honestly think that the Bugs Legion story is a perfect marriage of goofiness and storytelling, and it should be number 1. But I have no problem with you not putting it up. I don't think it should be last. But then again, I know what criteria you're looking at. You're looking at that DC universe legitimize these Looney Tunes characters being in that universe.
It doesn't even have to be. It doesn't have to be like a serious legitimization. It just has to be like like there has to be some thread there.
Some modicum of sense.
So like a classic Western. So like a classic Western where a man has a claim. And he hires a bounty hunter to protect him.
And a boxing rooster. I see it all the time in all the westerns I've ever watched. A boxing rooster.
Circus freaks, sir. They prefer to be
John
called
Wayne did a movie with a boxing rooster. Do you not remember?
I'm going to find classic Western and Circus Freaks right now, and I'm sending you all of them.
Lord. Josh, the Jonah Hex story has skyrocketed to number 3.
We're running down your list one more time in the placements.
All right, I actually swapped some stuff. So the Wonder Woman story is at number 1. The Lobo, Wile E. Coyote thing's number 2. And then I've actually got Jonah Hex and Yosemite Sam at number 3. And then I actually bumped Martian Manhunter down at the bottom, and I've got the Legion of Superheroes thing at 4.
Okay.
But to be
well
completely
deserved.
honest, honestly,
I agree with that.
Honestly, like you could take those 3, 4, and 5 and like crumple them up and roll them around and throw them on the table and pick them out, and I'd be like, yeah, that's cool, that works too. Like there's really no significant difference between them.
Oh man! If I click on this link, Mark, it better have a rooster featured sideshow in there.
So, before we get started on the next one, I feel it's important as judge, jury, and executioner to preface this with, I had an immediate bias to this next one from the beginning, just because it's written by Tom King, and if anybody has ever, actually listened to multiple things that I've done with you all, that whole Vision run, it's probably one of the top 2 or 3 comic book story arcs that I've ever read in my life. So that actually got me to start regularly buying the current ongoing Batman that he's writing as well, which is actually really good. So,
I wish you hadn't said that.
Boy, I'm really interested to see how he ties Elmer Fudd into fucking Batman.
All right. Imagine this, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
No. All right. We open up on Gotham City. All right. It's raining.
No surprise.
And we have a monologue. And I'm going to read this monologue to you. Sometimes the rain comes down. Sometimes the rain comes down so hard, you forget you had ever been dry. I try to see it out there in the past or in the future. Rainbow's waiting. Going into Porky's that day, I try my best to remember. I really do. Things were always this way. They won't always be this way. I try my best, and the water seeps in, molding my coat into my shotgun. And I stop crying, and I head inside. My name is Elmer Fudd. I'm hunting rabbits. Batman and Elmer Fudd in. Play for me. So
that's
okay, hold on. I got
of all the books so far that any of you attempted the intro process, this wins by far because that's ridiculous.
So we've got this noir tale of intrigue, suspense, murder, and double cross, starring Batman and Elmer Fudd.
The atmosphere it lays out. I'm waiting for Elmer Fudd to go into the story about how his best friend had sex with his wife and stole his family. That's the
You're
feel
way close
that this has already started with. So go on.
You're so very close.
You are.
You're
right in the ballpark.
I watch him take his last carrot. So Elmer walks into a bar named Porky's, and he runs into Bugs the Bunny, and he loves his game so much. He doesn't even mind dying in it. So Elmer Fudd goes into Porky's the bar, ran by Porky, the bartender, who looks a little overweight, and he has a turned-up nose. So
he doesn't actually look like a pig?
Yeah, he looks a little piggish.
Okay, all right.
The thing to remember, I'm going to help Ronnie out here. Everybody in this book is a real human being. They may have
that's
features.
what I was getting to.
Okay, go ahead.
He meets Bugs the Bunny at the bar, who is a human. Everybody in here is a human, but their features give them the names just like you would have in any mobster movie or anything like that. So Bugs the Bunny, they call him the Bunny because he's got buck teeth. And he also said, I think I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque, which I found amazing. Bartender is Porky.
Oh.
He looks kind of like a pig. Yeah, it's fun if you've ever been to Albuquerque. And he says, yeah, me neither. And then we find out that Elmer's actually there to kill Bugs. Yeah, he's got his shotgun under his jacket. He goes, you're going to kill me. He says, yes. He goes, it's a bar. I'm here to drink. Just drink. Well, that and kill you.
No.
So we find out he's there because he knows that Bugs has killed a girl. He's killed his girl. So we look around the bar once again, and we find that there are other characters there. And so one guy says, so I say to her, honey, I thought I saw a putty tat. And she moves in that way. And she moves in that way. You know what I mean? And he says, I just go, I did see a putty tat. And then we find out that he doesn't have a name, but that's obviously whoever that is. I can't remember his name now.
Tweety Bird.
Tweety Bird.
Oh, I did Tweety. Yeah, that's right.
There's two guys playing poker, and one of them says, hurry it up, and the other one says, I say, boy, don't rush me. I got a worse hand than a blonde dentist working on an alligator. And the other one says, and he is a large African-American man sitting at the table. And the other one is looks to be like a biker with a long red mustache. And he says, better bet, don't bet, varmint, but do it soon, or I'll blast your head off. And the other one, we found another character who's got a mohawk, and he's just going crazy on another guy, screaming, beating him up. That's Taz. And then we see a crazy homeless man wearing an odd hat with a red vest and says, "Someday I'll blow up the whole world with my Iridium Q36 space modulator. That will surely improve the view." And we have another one who looks to be
cameo.
A little shady salesman that says, I get it. My client here looks like a frog. I know, I see him. But I'm telling you, fellows, he sings like an angel. We see a frog with a top hat.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
My baby
so
done
we go
told
back
me.
to Bugs and... Exactly. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling.
Hello, my darling.
Yeah.
So they're introducing all these as basically kind of implied drunks at a bar.
Exactly.
All right.
That's
No, I'm following along. I'm just.
All right. So
I'm just checking in.
we go back to Bugs and Bugs and Elmer. He says, "I got something for trade. I did it." He tells him, "Yeah, I killed her. I pulled the trigger, but somebody paid me to." And so he basically trades his life to Elmer for a name, and it turns out that name is Bruce Wayne. And then Elmer stands up and says, "Bruce Wayne." And he turns around and says, "Congratulations." And he flips a carrot at his head because he's sitting there eating carrots. And then as he leaves, Bugs says, "Heh, ain't I a stinker?" And we go to Elmer, who is
I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
Hold on. I want to ask a question. Is
I'm holding.
Elmer's inner monologue have the speech impediment?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. All right, continue.
So that
because it
implies
says in his inner monologue
from birth.
Wow.
Yeah. He says in his inner monologue, "I've been around some. I know a lot of people." So Elmer, who we find out is a hired killer, who has fallen in love with a young lady who has been murdered by Bugs the Bunny, and we find out she's in love with someone else. He disguises himself as a limo driver to get into Bruce Wayne's. She's in love with Bruce Wayne, which comes, through this flashback, we find out she's in love with Bruce Wayne. And he says, "My name is Elmer Fudd, and I'm hunting playboys."
Oh, jeez.
So, he dresses himself as a limo driver. He makes his way past Alfred in this disguise by saying that his rider, I was going to read it like that. His rider left his cell phone in the car. And so he makes his way past Alfred, gets in there, and he finds Bruce Wayne. And he thinks that, of course, that he has been, he paid Bugs to kill his girl. So he yells out Bruce Wayne, and he turns around, and he's got his double-barreled, and he points it straight at Bruce Wayne's chest and pulls the trigger and kills and shoots Bruce Wayne in the chest. And we find out that, help me out, Mark, what is her name? That his girlfriend is...
like something St. Cloud?
Yeah, St. Cloud is his girlfriend's name, who is actually a DC character, I think, was involved with Bruce Wayne. Maybe, I don't know. But she seems awfully familiar for the story. And he said, he goes on to lament, desperate for cash, desperate for food. I found the only work I could. Men paid me. I hunted what needed to be, what needed to be dead. Then I met her, my little cloud. He changed his life for this girl. And he finds out that Bruce Wayne, from what he thought was a reliable source, that Bruce Wayne paid to have his girlfriend killed. So he shot Bruce Wayne dead. He escapes the party, but up in the sky comes crashing down onto his limo. No, not crashing down on his limo, but following him, his limo, is none other than the Dark Knight himself, Silver St. Cloud. So Elmer is, going on, about his night, and he's very sad about Silver St. Cloud. He goes to the murder scene. He finds a carrot in a pool of blood, so he knows that that's how he knew that Elmer. That's how Elmer knew that Bugs did it. So Batman confronts him in a Batman fashion by sneaking in behind him And as he opens the door, somebody knocks the door. He goes to answer the door. Batman appears behind him, but Elmer puts his shotgun in his shoulder and pulls the trigger shooting behind him. So Elmer's got some moves. He goes toe-to-toe with Batman here, cracks him in the face with the shotgun butt. Batman, jumps over Batman's leg sweep, tries to kill him again with a shotgun. But Batman, of course, gets the upper hand because he is the Dark Knight. So they're kind of almost evenly matched for a little bit. I do have to say that I did not. The sound effects that they write in was Batman punches Elmer Fudd and just says punch, and then they look at each other, and then Elmer punches Batman and it says punch with W's. So he goes on the toe-to-toe, and he goes,
how do you
he
pin
deserves
a story? Oh, go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
He goes, he deserves. Bruce Wayne deserved to die, and Batman says, no one deserves to die, and he says, if you had known my darling Silver, St. Cloud, you should have seen what Bugs did to her. You would know some lives aren't worth keeping around. And then Batman says, Silver St. Cloud. What do you know about Silver? What do you know about? Why did you say that name, Silver St. Cloud?
Martha. Why did you say that?
Martha. Please, if they did a Martha joke, it might save the book for me.
So he goes, I know she loved Bruce Wayne, and he loved her. And when he found out she was with me, he killed her. So I killed him. And Batman just, He goes, And Elmer looks back at him and goes, hum. So they find out that Bugs has lied to Elmer. So Elmer goes back to Porky's. He won't kill anybody. He promises Batman he won't kill anybody. So they go into Porky's, and they absolutely clean house. They punch Yosemite Sam in the face, and then they go to town on everybody else. Here the Batman squares off with what seems to be Foghorn Leghorn, and Foghorn says, I say, and then Batman knocks him out and says, yeah, what do you say? And then another guy comes out of the corner in a striped shirt, says, suffering succotash, and Elmer takes his shotgun and hits him in the nuts with it, and he says, yeah, your succotash definitely seems to be suffering. So, it's a lot of it's a lot of one-liners and stuff, but it's really, actually, the art is really good.
Josh loves puns.
And is
there any puns, please?
So they go on, they beat up everybody in the bar, all the drunks, and it goes even to where Elmer sticks his shotgun into the salesman's mouth, with the frog. He says, hello, my honey, hello, my baby, hello, my wagtime pal. And so they clean house, and they get to Bugs, and Bugs is standing there and goes, what's up, Docs? So they grab him, and they were wondering why. He's like, why did you kill her? Why did you kill Silver St. Cloud? And all of a sudden she comes out of a corner and says, obviously, because I asked him to do it. And it's Silver St. Cloud. And so Twist hitting there, and she says, hi, boys. And she goes, when I dated Bruce, I discovered that he kept, every night he became dangerous. I left him because I didn't want danger. Then I found my little fuddy-duddy, safe, secure, until he told me he too was dangerous. I wanted to leave. I didn't want you to follow, so I made nice with Bugs, and he helped me stage a little ruse. When Bugs asked me what to do if Fuddy ever came after him, I told him to call me and send Fuddy to Bruce Wayne. I figured the two of them had so much in common, they'd find something to do together. And it says, and now I leave. And you? She says, stay. And they watch her go, leaving them behind. And they sit down at Porky's, all three of them, and they have a shot of carrot juice. And at the ending shot, it says,
and they say at the
Porky
end it was always Chinatown.
Porky's standing there holding a bottle of carrot juice. He said, in his stuttering manner, everybody says they're drinking carrot juice today. We're going to run out quick. And then they have their shot of carrot juice, and then Porky puts the puts the the cat back on and says, "That's all, folks."
Oh boy.
Oh, come on.
Clearly.
That's
dude. Okay.
Clearly number 4 on the list.
Now this is so I feel like this is like there are really two sides to this. Like on one hand, this feels like probably the most realistic blending of the two universes, but the one-liners and just the general some of the little jabs are just probably some of the worst of anything anybody's said tonight.
Come on, dude. Seriously?
Holy
I didn't do
shit.
this. You have
I'm
to read
hunting
it. You have to read
Playboys.
it.
Oh, dude. Okay. All right. Holy shit. All right, I'm going with that as that's a close second.
Number 1, baby.
Yeah, no, that's number 2, dude. The one-liners. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm rewriting my list here. So, starting from the bottom. The bottom is Martian Manhunter and Marvin Martian. That's kind of atrocious.
Thank you. I told you. That's not a problem.
Really, honestly, these bottom 3, you could do 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. There's really no separating. 5 is Legion of Superheroes and Bugs Bunny. None of that made really any sense to me at all. Like, it was a struggle to figure out what all was going on or really even keep up with it. 4 is the Jonah Hex Yosemite Sam Leghorn triplicate thing. And then number 3 is the Lobo Wile E. Coyote thing. Number 2 is Batman and Elmer Fudd, and number 1 is still the Wonder Woman thing because I feel that at least.
That's bull crap.
But here's the catch though. Here's the catch though. I'm gonna buy the Wonder Woman, Tazmanian Devil, and the Batman Elmer Fudd because
Tom King.
I want to see how hard pretty much. But I also want to see how hard those one-liners hit me in text. Because if you tell me a pun, like, you've probably got an enemy for life, basically.
Right. But
I feel
you got to imagine.
Verbal puns are just really bad. So
you have to imagine them, like beating the crap out of people while they're doing it.
Well, so the other thing, too, though, is just the fact that, like, honestly, if it weren't for a lot of the one-liners that were in that story, that one, if you had taken that out, it would easily be number 1. Because it just feels like that more so than, like heads and shoulders above any of the other ones, combine the two in a realistic, serious tone way better.
All right.
That's my primary piece. Like, if it weren't for one-liners, which is not really because of the writing, and it's more because of what you have to do to the history of Looney Tunes, I get that. But that's more my personal vendetta than against the actual writing. So I'm going to buy them both.
What's that, Ronnie?
I just want to say,
no.
Woo! I win! Yay! Passion wins the day.
I see it more of a tie.
I didn't see Wonder Woman, Tazmanian Devil being good at all. I'm really surprised. So I'll definitely have to check that out. I can understand
that storyline makes sense though. The way it's laid out. Like if I'm going with more of a serious tone and you're trying to combine the two, like what was laid out seems to at least make sense. Like he's some mythological creature guarding something that she sought, and then it flowed from there.
Yeah. I agree.
It's still, to be fair, like as an overarching comment, it's all absolutely ridiculous. None of this should have ever happened. None of this.
I feel dumber for having listened to this.
The time that
and may
each of
God
you put
have
into
mercy
writing
on your
this,
soul.
the fact that Mark read all of them, for God's sakes, and the fact that we just spent like 2 hours talking about all of them, That is all time that we have all collectively wasted.
And we thank you for tuning into the Radulich of Broadcasting Network and the Source Material Podcast and wasting your time with us.
That's right. We do not blame you if you double speed the podcast. That's okay. That is all right. Well,
I'm waiting for feedback on this going, this was a fine show and we enjoyed this, but seriously, tell Mark to calm the fuck down. I'm yelling. That's what I'm waiting for.
I like how you thought you were really pitching it to like studio execs.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, yeah, mine was about 2 Martians and it sucked.
Get out of my office.
Did Mark, we want to ask you before we get into plugs. I mean, if you want to talk about the B stories, we're more than welcome to. I know we've spent 2 hours doing this. Tell us about the kids, man. You said you made your kids watch Looney Tunes. What happened? What did you do?
Well, all right. So it started with I would call my son over and I would say I want to give you a hug, and he would say okay. He's a little sketch. He's like, I don't know where you're going with this. Why are you trying to hug me? Why are you trying to hug me for no reason? And so I was like, come here. And then I would pick him up and I would put him in a tight bear hug and I would start to aggressively pet him and go, and I will hug you and squeeze you and I will hug you and I will name you George. And it's really funny because Jonas was okay with all of that except for calling him George. He would literally just deadpan look at me. He would deadpan look at me and just go, I'm not George. And I was doing that to him all the time, and he would actually request. He was just like, "Dad, do the George thing," and then so I would pick him up and and do all that. And I was like, "Here, you want to see where that came from?" So him and his sister came over, and I would play for them like Looney Tunes cartoons on my phone. And I showed them the one with the abominable snowman, and they both thought that was hysterical. So like they watch a lot of Disney Channel, and they're not watching Disney Channel; they're watching Netflix. And I'm like, let's try some new stuff here. So. On YouTube, they have like collections of Looney Tunes cartoons. A lot of them are the same ones, but we would just spend some time at the end of the night, like right before bed. This was mostly during the school year, just settling down, and we would kind of sit around the table, and I would play for them Looney Tunes cartoons. But it started with me doing the abominable snowman gimmick on my son, and my daughter took calling Bugs Bunny Funny Bunny. She's like, can you play Funny Bunny? And I'm like, sure. And they love it now. I'll put it on for them, and they think it's hysterical.
Awesome. I wonder what it is with kids and being called a different name. Colton has the same reaction. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I'll call him something goofy, and he'd be like, my name is not that. My name is Colton. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we got that straight. What is your deal, man?
Jonas will slap the shit out of somebody before he gets called like a nickname. They're like, hey, you Schmendrick. And it's just like, don't call me nicknames. Like, all right, easy.
All right. Now, quickly, was there any B stories that you guys really felt needed to be discussed? I do want to talk about discussed.
All right. I just want to bring up the Batman Elmer Fudd one because they did the Wabbit season, Duck season thing, but they did it Bat season, and they had Batman doing the Daffy Duck part, and I thought it was amusing because they literally did this. They literally did Batman's cowl is Daffy Duck's bill, so every time he got shot in the face, his cowl ended up in a different area, and I was amused by that.
Did Daffy show up in any of these stories?
No, not really.
I don't think so. I mean, well, I haven't seen any in the Daffy was a pretty popular Looney Tune. I do want to talk about how
I want to pitch one more of these. Like if they do another series of DC Looney Tunes crossovers, they have to do the Joker and Daffy Duck, or Harley Quinn and Daffy Duck, one of those two.
Oh yeah, that would you could force that to make sense. I mean yeah.
Sure. I do want to talk about the B story and the Lobo Roadrunner. So
yeah, that was funny too.
Oh, dude, it was hilarious because at the end of the story, then all of a sudden it continues. It's funny. It's the title of the story is "But Wait, There's More," and Bugs Bunny shows up, and Lobo's like hanging out in Las Vegas. Bugs Bunny shows up and says, hey Doc, you got 8 more pages you got to fill. Here's the contract. You got to continue to try and get the Roadrunner. So the next few pages are Lobo again trying to catch the Roadrunner, and he catches the Roadrunner and kills him, explodes him, puts him on a bunch of rockets and dynamite and kills him. And then Bugs Bunny shows back up and says, Doc, wait. Now we got to sue you because the contract says you got to attempt to kill the Roadrunner. We didn't expect you to actually catch him and kill him. And, of course, in the background, there's Roadrunner sitting there smiling, and he's like, oh, by the way, you didn't kill me. So that was the end of – I thought it was pretty funny because it was drawn –
That's clever.
Oh, yeah. It was drawn, like we were talking about how there's Looney Tunes artists, it seems like. It was drawn the same way, very much like a Looney Tunes comic. And at one point, Lobo falls off of a cliff onto some, only these spikes. And he's, impaled on all these spikes. And he looks down and he's like, this is a little bit extreme for a kid's comic, isn't it? And there's blood dripping down from these gashes in his arms and legs. And but anyway, I thought the ending was pretty neat, how they did the B story. But again, the B story for Legion and Bugs was just about stupid. I don't understand why they just redid the whole story again. That's cheap. You're paying already a lot of money for a book, and then you go around and tell a story twice. It didn't make sense to me. It wasn't even almost like they tried to put a clever spin on it either. They just retold the same damn story, the same ending. Bugs Bunny and Superboy are celebrated in statues and the Legion. That is the exact same ending as the first story. So, go ahead.
I actually want to read the Wonder Woman Tasmanian Devil one because it wasn't worth pitching, but it's actually pretty funny. It's called Trojan Horseplay, and this is now he's gotten his meal, right? So the whole thing is a song. And so Wonder Woman is actually playing the harp to the Tasmanian Devil, and she says, "Oh, muse, do not fail me, 'tis you I implore, for I sing the epic of the great Trojan War. I sing of the heroes, of the warriors sublime. I sing of the dead, taken before their time." Now, Daffy Duck actually does show up here, by the way.
Oh, he does? Okay,
I'm
cool.
Helen. Yeah. I'm Helen of Sparta. In all of the world, there's no one so fair, no comelier girl. And there's Daffy Duck. I'm King Menelaus. I'm kind of a schmuck, but I hit this girl. I'm one lucky duck. And then there's Taz. I'm Paris, a prince. I just sailed here from Troy. Please pardon my breath. I don't mean to annoy. But wow, such a beauty, I cannot deny. That face and that booty have sure caught my eye.
Whoa. Wow.
And so Wonder Woman says, "That's not how the tale goes. I not sing those words." Taz, "Well, my version's better. Don't be such a nerd." Just go on with your story. This here's just a dream. Heck, in here, I'm talking. Things aren't what they seem. Fine. Oh, Paris, I shouldn't. What about Menelaus? He wouldn't catch us in Troy. If he did, he would flay us. What do you... This is Farquhar Leghorn. What do you mean he took off with your wife? Daffy Duck. I'm a cuckold, a duckhold. Help me get back my life. Farquhar Leghorn. I declare, my dear brother, we'll whoop him and then some. We'll fetch back your bride. So swears Agamemnon. And it just goes on like that.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That feels like there's potential there, but it feels like it gets pretty weird at brief moments.
I was reading a couple of reviews for this, and at some point they rhymed something with Bechdel. That's what I was looking for.
Wow.
Oh God, I laughed pretty hard at this. I was we had taken my kids to an indoor park, and they were and I was reading at the table, and I'm at the table just fucking laughing. Oh, here it is. Happy endings are nice, and we sure kick some rectal. Yeah, but I was too passive. F from Professor Bechdel. Yep, they rhymed rectal with Bechdel.
Oh, wow.
Run out and buy it, Josh.
I did not expect to come out of this buying 1/3 of these books.
Wow. Mark, man, as you can tell, it's getting late. I hit 2 hours on a podcast, and all of a sudden I just lose all comprehension. Josh, thanks for putting up with our nonsense tonight. So just to set the record straight, it's going to be Wonder Woman, Tazmanian Devil, and Batman, Elmer, Fudd, right?
Yep, that's it.
All
Can
right.
we have
All right.
can we have him back on to talk about Suicide Squad and the banana splits?
Oh boy,
No,
I heard.
shit.
Did he just tell me?
I mean, I want him back on.
I've never seen an episode of the Banana Split, so that shit's lost on me. I don't know what any of that's about, and that's I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Can we get?
Imagine
How
the
about
most absurd,
I will
absurd
say,
asinine drug trip you can possibly imagine, and you've got the banana splits.
We were talking about all these, and I thought, oh man, like they're doing all these different crossover things with cartoons, and I thought the one that made the most sense to me, and probably unfairly because like I'm a huge fan of the DC one, is Green Lantern Space Ghost. I think that could make a lot of sense, and that could work out really easily and really well. But
Well,
I'll
it
probably
just
end up
so
picking
happens,
it too.
Josh. Let me pitch you. On September 26th, the trade paperback of all these different annuals is coming out. And it's Space Ghost Green Lantern Annual 1, Booster Gold Flintstones Annual number 1,
Oh
Suicide
boy.
Squad Banana Split Annual
Yeah, I'm not
1,
buying all these.
and Adam Strange Future Quest Annual 1. Let me read you the description here. Hanna-Barbera's classic cartoon characters meet some of DC Universe's greatest superheroes. These massive crossovers are sure to thrill Josh Calandros, whether your favorite characters are teaming up or facing off. Trapped in a strange rift in time, Green Lantern and Space Ghost are forced to battle a variety of foes and each other. Mistaken for metahumans, thrown in the battles of Belle Reve, the animal rock band Banana Split are recruited by Amanda Waller for a secret mission to save the Suicide Squad.
Come on.
That would have worked as a better plot than the actual movie. Adam Strange is blasted through multiple dimensions only to land on Earth. There, instead of superpowered beings and legendary crime fighters, he encounters Johnny Quest, Haji, Dr. Quest, and Race Bannon, and they're the only ones who can help him get home. And rounding out these stories, in the midst of an alien invasion in the 25th century, Booster Gold must dive deep into the prehistoric past to see what happened the last time they hit the planet. In this bygone era, Fred Flintstone and Bonnie Rubble must help Booster learn the truth and return to his own time armed with the information that will bring down the invaders. I think we need to talk about this. I think this deserves its own podcast.
Let me ask a question. Is the Flintstones Booster Gold crossover, is that written by Mark Russell?
I don't know.
You don't have it in front of you? Okay, that's fine. Well, I didn't know if you were reading off solicits or whatever, but well, we all know who Mark Russell is. He's the guy that wrote the Flintstone stories that we were part of, that we reviewed.
I feel like Zorak is a Red Lantern.
Oh my goodness! I do know for a fact that Larfleeze shows up in the Space Ghost Green Lantern crossover.
Okay.
None of those books come out until September, then.
No, that's
not
trade paperback that puts them all together. These are all out now. Okay, so I've got the information here.
And annuals coming out because I hate annuals.
What more do you hate, Josh?
Or are these annuals are like a waste of time. Like what's the best annual you've ever read? Everybody, Mark, what's the best annual you read?
I didn't read fucking annuals.
Okay, so Jesse, what's your favorite annual? Think of an annual story that you read that you enjoyed a lot.
No, I can't think of anything off the top
Ronnie,
of my head.
what do you like?
Spider-Man Annual number 1.
Wait, which
I
one?
just made that up. I don't know.
So that's my point,
right.
though. Like, I know, like, I complain a lot on here, but dude, like, annuals don't bring anything. Like, there's nothing.
No, there's never usually a good
annual
story.
The only annuals worth reading the only annuals that I can think of that I enjoyed reading whatsoever were just like the first and last issues of Maximum Carnage, just because they weren't actually annuals; they were actually part of the stories.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, so the Mark Russell question, the answer is yes. It's written by Mark Russell, art by Rick Leonardi, Scott Hanna, Steve Buccellato, and Dave Sharp. And according to WeirdScienceComics.com, it got an 8 out of 10.
Mark Russell's the hot thing now,
You
man.
do realize if he's part of this, I want nothing to do with it, right?
He comes out of that podcast with absolute hate for Mark Russell.
Okay.
The bowling ball dies.
These to make my point here to Mr. Calandros, these are already out. They came out earlier this year. The date that I read you was for the trade paperback, but you can read these now if you want. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I might end up grabbing that whenever I go for these other two books.
I'm telling you, man. I think we should do another podcast like this, and each one of us take one of these, and pitch you again. You know,
I'm down.
Space Ghost Green Lantern, Booster Gold Flintstone, Suicide Squad Banana Splits, call that, and Adam Strange Future Quest.
You can have that.
It's calling dibs on a podcast that don't exist yet.
I call Suicide
Well,
Squad
if we're going to
Banana
do that, then I won't buy the Space Ghost one. But, well, maybe I'll buy it and just so I can have it. Because I'm sure they'll sell out.
All right, yeah, put it down, Mark. If we got a spot open.
Funny you use that phrase, sell out.
Right.
Well, I'm going to wait for the trade to come out.
That's another point. This was so profitable.
I'm going to wait for the trade to come out, so we'll have to do it sometime after September 26th. Okay? But, yeah, I think we should do this again, where we should all pick one of these. And, I mean, there's 4 of them, but, you know, we'll all pick one out of the 4, and one just won't get pitched. And Josh can judge again.
Ronnie just sent me a message and asked if we were talking Snagglepuss before that, because he really wants to talk about Snagglepuss.
I did not, you lying piece of crap.
Well, when the Snagglepuss trade comes out, I'll be more than happy to. I'm demanding that we do, as a matter of fact. Snagglepuss, I can't wait.
Heavens, the Murgatroyd. All right.
Oh, you betcha.
2 hours of this, ladies and gentlemen, and we appreciate you sticking through. We've got to call it a night here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do plugs, and then we're rocking and rolling on out of here. We'll start with the main man himself, the judge, the jury, the executioner, Josh Calandros, sir. Do you have anything you wish to plug?
Not really. I mean, it's pretty much like the other. It's like this is always a lot of. This is genuinely a fun part for me because I usually like to go last because like the other 3 of you have a lot of stuff going on, and then I can wrap it up and be like, nope, I'm good. That's no. I mean, we've just got settled. We moved here to Indianapolis over the last few weeks, and I just don't have a lot going on of particular note. So sorry to start this off with a whimper.
Not a problem, man. I'm very, very again thankful that you got on here and put up with us there for this. And I think a lot of our listeners appreciate your candor and your choices. So again, thank you, sir, for joining us tonight. Ronnie Adams,
have a blast every time.
Awesome. Ronnie Adams of the Screaming Boy Podcast, sir. What are we going to plug tonight?
I don't know. I can't think right now.
Your childhood slowly dies,
and my soul as well. So, Screaming Boy Podcast, we basically nerd culture, pop culture. We talk movies, TV, video games, comic books, everything. We are in the middle of resetting because of technical difficulty, and I'm sans the computer. But we will be back soon. We have been so graciously handed Friday nights to do live shows on the Radulich Broadcasting Network. So we've been doing live shows via Blog Talk Radio, and so that's been really good. We did Transformers Week. We talked about just Transformers in general. Some 80s toys.
You guys talked about me, you assholes. I heard your podcast. Call me all judgy and stuff. Whatever.
We did.
I got a cup toy.
Yeah.
So anyway, we also had a guest caller.
The local celebrity.
The local celebrity Kirk. He called in and regaled us with tales of the new Transformers movie, sort of, and then had to go. And then so we talked about that. These live shows have been a blast, and I love them. So go back in the archives, check them out, as well as all the other shows. They're a lot of fun. So check us out on Facebook with Screamboy Podcast, Instagram Screamboy Podcast, and Twitter ScreamboyPR at ScreamboyPR. www.screamboy.com, which is kind of down right now too. But if you have any questions for us or any comments or suggestions, info at screamboy.com.
Very good.
All right,
Mark Radulich.
I have just added DC Meets Hanna-Barbera on the Source Material Podcast October 2nd. So we'll be back again pitching Josh Calandros all these great ideas for cinematic features right here on the Source Material Podcast on the Radulich Broadcasting Network on October 2nd.
I'm so sorry, Josh.
My God. As for what's happening this week, tomorrow night, sometime while you're blowing things up, Robert Winfrey and I will get together and review Despicable Me 3 on the Metal Hammer of Doom. We've been a little off track doing some silly things, but we're talking serious business this week. Ice Earth, Incorruptible. The new Ice Earth album dropped. We're going to talk all about it tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. I don't give a shit when Robert Cooper is working. We're going live at 9 because I'm an old man and I'm tired, and we're going at 9. Thursday at 9 o'clock, TV Party Tonight. Myself and Sean Comer are back. We're going to talk about the new Netflix series, Glow. As for what's going on, we got Spider-Man Week from July 10th through July 13th. We're going to look at the Spider-Man story, The Gauntlet, featuring the Vulture. We got a review for Homecoming on Tuesday. The Metal Hammer of Doom isn't really participating in Spider-Man Week, because how could we? So we're gonna review the new Power Flow, featuring members of Cypress Hill and Biohazard. It's gonna be fantastic. Power Flow, check it out on your Spotify. And then On Trial returns July 13th. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. We will defend and prosecute this movie, and fun will be had by all.
That was a good movie.
What do you call it? The following week, we got Planet of the Apes going on all week, and Source Material is going to deal with it by doing Tarzan on the Planet of the Apes. The following week, we are dedicating all podcasts to the military, and we're going to kick it off here on Source Material with Sergeant Rock, Between Hell and a Hard Place. And finally, ending July, beginning in August, it's all things dedicated to Charlize Theron. We're going to, right here on the Source Material Podcast, we're going to look at The Coldest City, which has been adapted into the movie we're going to review Tuesday, Atomic Blonde. So check those things out. And then on trial for that week is The Italian Job. Why The Italian Job? Because it has Charlize Theron in it. That was the link. I'm sorry, I'm not always very creative with these things. So that's all the news that's fit to print here on the Radulich Broadcasting Network. Take us home, Jesse.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, check out that Radulich Broadcasting Network Facebook page to stay up on top of all the great podcasts that we have to offer. We've got wrestling, we got comics, we've got video game discussions, all sorts of fun stuff on that network. So usually you could find that on the Facebook page. You can usually find the links there. Go to blogtalkradio.com Just search Radulich. You'll find everything that's been in our archives. Our archives.
Wow.
I'm sealing the deal. Here we go. This is source material. We are at 123 episodes right now. That's amazing. And ladies and gentlemen,
and this year I have dominated 100 of them. You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, our most listened to episode was the DC Flashpoint. Second most. So if you have the opportunity, and if you haven't listened to it already, apparently it's pretty popular. Go out and check that out. I think that's about it. You can follow me at StiznarKey on Twitter. The show has a Twitter. It's at SourceMacCast. We're also on YouTube every once in a while, so if you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to do so. Other than that, let me find the outro music. As you can tell, I'm prepared, as always. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much again for joining us this evening. For Mark Radulich, for Ronnie Adams, for Josh Calandros, have a good one.
That's all, folks.
Wingstop lives flavor, and you crave it. That's why we've created the boneless flavor fix for you and your crew. 20 boneless wings, 4 flavors, 2 fries, 2 dips, and 2 cold drinks for just $20. Whether it's lemon pepper, Louisiana rub, or atomic, finding your flavor combo is easy, but deciding who you're gonna split it with, that's a different story. The boneless flavor fix, just $20 for a limited time at Wingstop. The wing experts. Prices and participation may vary. See local restaurant for details.
Nobody celebrates the 4th of July like Macy's.
I know. It's the largest Independence Day tribute in the nation.
And a July 4th sale that has its own fireworks.
Meaning?
Savings on everyone's summer must-haves.
Ooh,
No, really. Sandals, shorts, tees.
Jaw-dropping.
Great summer home styles, too.
So exciting. Wait, when we use our Macy's Card or Savings Pass...
we get an extra 10 to 20% off.
You know, I think I'm actually getting goosebumps.
Celebrate and save at Macy's July 4th sale. Savings off sale prices. Exclusions apply.